Hey, Dennis here with another video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the one thing, probably I would say the most important thing that determines the success, the quality of your life. So I'm going to get right to it here. The one thing that determines the quality of your life, how successful you are, is awareness. We can also call it consciousness. I would say this one thing is so important because the degree to how conscious you are, the degree to how aware you are, decides your whole life. Nowadays, we live in a world where people say we need more technology and conceptual knowledge of science is going to give us the answers to the universe. But knowledge without awareness is useless. Because I can give you knowledge, but can you understand it? Do you have the awareness to understand what I'm saying? Without awareness, you live a mechanical life. Low awareness is mechanical, like a robot, just going through the motions. You can do things without awareness, and you can do things with awareness. There's a huge difference here. Awareness is such a big problem that you can be so unaware that you are unaware that you are unaware, so much that you might not even be aware enough to understand that how important awareness is that I'm trying to teach you through this video. There are things that we can understand about the world and yourself that's beyond conceptual knowing. Because there's conceptual knowing and then there's, well, actually knowing what it is. Like the being level of that thing beyond the concept. And we can use an example. For example, if I said something like, well, let's go metaphysical first. So what I'm saying is you can have an awareness so high that it transcends most human understanding. That an awareness that's so high that it's unfathomable, like you cannot fathom it. There are a few things that, as humans, we can understand, these abstract concepts, such as, for example, I use in one of my videos, you can use the example of a finger. So if I have a finger here, right? I'm not trying to hold this mic up. Like, you would say this is a finger, right? Here, and that this isn't. So the idea of this thing called a finger is something you're creating in your mind, but yet you can understand. How? Is that logical? No, this isn't logic, but yet you're able to understand it. Or if I said something like, okay, we're using another example. Counting. If I were to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, when does it end? If I were to keep going, 6, 7, 8, you would say, well, it doesn't end. It keeps going forever. Yeah, you're right. How do you know that? How do you know that? You can just get it with your awareness. Well, spoiler alert, you're not doing it. The universe is understanding it for you. So there's these metaphysical insights that, such as time is illusion, right? This very moment is eternal. You're either aware of it or you're not. And if you are aware of it, to what extent are you aware, right? Because there's levels of awareness. You can be aware of something, but to what extent are you aware of this, okay? So let's go in another direction. So if I were to say, let's get philosophical. What is language? What is language? Well, language, we could say it's words, right? These sounds that you hear and understand, right? If you speak English or you study English as a second language and you understand me, is it logical that you can hear these words and understand me? No, that's a metaphysical thing. The universe is doing this. So if I were to speak another language, like この言葉がわかりますか? And you understand it, that's an amazing thing. Because there's someone else who doesn't understand that language, This is a bunch of nonsense, a bunch of sounds, right? So if I said it might as well have been blah 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 blah, and someone hears it, oh, I understand. But how's that possible, right? If I were to arrange these sounds, in a particular order, such as this insight or this idea, vegetables and fruits are healthy. Well, you might say, I know. But do you have the awareness to grasp that? It's not just a logical thing that you're just hearing these sounds, these words, and it's knowing, oh yeah, of course, that's right. You can understand something at a conceptual level as an idea, and then there's the actual knowing of the thing. Many people in the United States are very unhealthy, and I think they think they know that, of course, vegetables and fruit are healthy as an idea. But are they living that life? No, because they don't know. Because if we were to ask ourselves, what is health? Like, what is it? And I'm not talking about what you read in a book or what someone told you or what does the dictionary say? That's just a start. You need to apply these ideas, reflect on them. That's how awareness is built. You don't just hear something and like, oh yeah, okay, of course. Like I can tell you, oh, this moment here is eternal. It has existed forever. Oh yeah, of course. No, you need the awareness to grasp it, right? So this is why I think philosophy is also very important, because it's the reflection on these ideas, these things that we think we know. And some of them can be very basic, like what is health? Oh yeah, I know. It's you eat healthy food and take care of yourself, which is right. But I feel that most people have these a very shallow understanding of these concepts. And what happened is that science has replaced philosophy. So, well, okay, why speculate on these things? We can just use science and it'll tell us. Science isn't aware that the problems of itself, which is a whole nother video I'm not going to get into here, but let's checking my notes. So if we were to ask ourselves, what is health from a philosophical standpoint? We could say that, okay, health means respect or love. Love for what? Yourself, because you care about yourself, right? You're not respecting yourself if you treat yourself badly. Now, going back to what is awareness? What is awareness? Awareness is love, essentially. And what's the opposite of love? It's fear. And what is fear? Fear is unconsciousness. It's unawareness, not aware. You're either doing something out of love or out of fear. When you increase your awareness, you increase your ability to love, not only yourself, but other people. So if someone's, they're treating their body badly, and I tell them, hey, fruits and vegetables are healthy. Yeah, I know. I learned that in school. But they have a conceptual understanding of this. They're not an actual awareness. And if they're treating themselves badly, I would argue that they're lacking awareness. They don't love themselves. And you say, well, what about, information? They don't have the right information. It's not an information problem. This is an awareness problem. We already have the information. Most people have the information. You can Google anything or mostly anything and get the information. But if I give you the information, will you do it? Will you have the awareness to know that the things I'm telling you are important to do? If I tell you to do meditation to increase your awareness, will you have, or do you have the awareness to know the importance of what I'm saying to actually do the meditation that I'm telling you to do? I feel that people are arguing over things that shouldn't be necessarily argued about because they lack awareness. Philosophy is very important for reflection, to know yourself. Because when you know what things are, like what is health, what is love, what is gender, and that's a particular interesting one because, well, do you think this here is you? And I would argue, no. If you increase your awareness enough, you can realize that the human is an illusion. It's a fiction, and that gender is a construct. Just like here, this thing is a finger, and here is a hand. That's a construct, but it looks like one thing. You're creating that there's a difference, and people forget that. Oh yeah, okay, we're making these lines, we're drawing these lines in the sand, but there never was a line. You're making it, and people are thinking through language which creates their understanding of the world. Interestingly enough, if you ever study Japanese, the word ashi means leg and foot. They don't draw a distinction. But in English, if you know English, you might think that's crazy. Like, how can foot doesn't have its own word? Like, if you stepped on my ashi, how would I know it's leg or foot? Well, the context. But yet you can grasp it, right? With your consciousness, with awareness, you can know. So the people that are arguing over what gender is, they're lacking awareness, because gender is a construct, just like everything else that you're creating. And not only is gender a construct, this here is a construct. This video that's on YouTube is a construct. My intention is not to get too metaphysical here, but I want you to understand the power of awareness, how important awareness is. I can tell you how important it is. The knowledge, that's knowledge, right? The concept. But you need the awareness to know that it's important. So I can give you an example. For example, years ago, I remember my parents, we still have this dog. We have a husky. And I remember my mom, or maybe my dad mostly, would be kind of irritated that our dog would keep barking. Woof, 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 woof. And I would joke. I would say things like, well, that's what huskies do. As if that particular dog does that thing. And yeah, that's how it is. A husky is going to be a husky. And I would say that as a kind of joke. And I remember I said it so many times that I started to say it to myself. Like, yeah, huskies, it's what they do, it's what they do, it's what they do. Until one day, it happened. Oh, of course. How else could it be? That's what they do. That's what they do. So then I realized I had the awareness to realize, oh, of course. This is beyond a conceptual knowing. Just like another example would be a baby crying. People get angry at a baby that's loud. And you might say, well, babies cry. It's what they do. To be angry at a baby, this isn't logical. This is lack of awareness. Because if you realized, baby's going to cry, baby's going to cry, baby's going to cry. It's what they do. It's what they do. Repeat that so many times. Oh, of course, that's what they do. Why would you be angry? So, just like I'm telling you now in this video that awareness is important. And you might think, yeah, okay, I understand. I'm telling you to repeat it to yourself so many times. Reflect on it so many times until you realize, oh, of course. That's why we're doing this. Why I'm making this video is to tell you. And that's why philosophy is important. I'm kind of rambling here at this point, but I remember I told one of my students about what I do during my free time. And I said philosophy, and they said, oh, that's so boring. And I thought, this is your life. You don't question what is health, what is anything, because you think it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with you. Everything. Why? Because your life itself. Like literally. If you were to raise your awareness high enough, you will realize that me and you, there is no difference at all. Because your life itself. And like I said, depending on how conscious you are, how aware, is how you live your entire life. And that's why it's important to become aware. Because this here, is gonna change per se, but how you see the world. It's reframed. The context has changed. The content hasn't changed, but the context, which reframes everything. When everything changes, you change. Because you see yourself differently. Why? Because your awareness is higher. And you can choose to be different. When you're being different, you take different action, which changes your life. Which is why meditation is important. Decrease your awareness. So, I'm going to end the video here before it gets too long. If you have any questions, I know that this is kind of a lot. This took me many years of reflection and meditation to understand. But I know it's a lot, and I'm planning to shoot more videos. This won't be the first time I'm talking about this. This goes way deeper than most people might even think it does. So I'm going to end it here. If you have any questions, comment in the video, under this video, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.